Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sibs-a-tea. I'm your host, Alex, and we have our co-host here,
Irene, hi, how are you doing?
Green Dog.
That's
Irene
Walter,
is also
actually.
known as Green Dog. It is the name she wants to go by.
No, it is not. She does not like the name Green Dog, actually. Despises it.
But
But it is what it is.
it is what it is, girl.
Nick Nick does such a great impression of that. It's ridiculous.
The thing is, like, I don't know how he has such a good impression of that. I don't know if he's watched the video like a million times.
He
Like,
put it in a paper, actually.
no, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah, either he put it in a paper or he put it in the paper that I was reading just for my humor,
For your
like for my pleasure, because it was quarantine and he showed me. He's like, Irene, just watch this, and it was it is what it is.
Honestly, that's insane. But I fucking
It's such a
love it.
Chico move. Yeah.
All right, everyone. So, like we said, we're Sibs of Tea. Today, we're going to talk about the foreign exchange, meaning the things that Europeans don't understand about the US. So, we found a BuzzFeed article. I should say, Irene found a BuzzFeed article. It's 19 things non Americans don't understand about the US. So, we're going to name the top few things that we have seen on this list and kind of go through there. So,
Yeah.
Irene, you want to go through the first one there?
Sure, but I would also like to mention, technically we are first generation, like both of our parents are immigrants. So sometimes it's like a little bit funny to see because I feel like we've been raised with immigrant values and like if you saw the way we did things, sometimes you'd be like, why would you do that? That's very non-American. Saying, well, my parents are non-American, so that's how I do things. Both of our parents are immigrants, so I feel like we've been raised, as most people, not like they're definitely Americanized, like let's be real, but we've definitely been raised with these immigrant values, and I feel like some Americans like think we're weird, and I'm like, no, you're weird, because who in their right mind fucking does this? Well, because sometimes it's just like, I don't know, like I know we use oil a lot in our cooking, and a lot of Americans just use butter.
That's
Not
true.
that butter isn't good, but I feel like oil sometimes just gets like a more crispy texture than butter does, because it's a little like, I don't know, it's better in my opinion. Anyway, so our first one, something I'm very passionate about, is registering to vote. And this user wrote in, as a Canadian, you're automatically enrolled when you turn 18 and get a notice where your polling station will be for every election. I think that is a fantastic thing, because I think it eliminates a lot of the problems that a lot of young people, and even sometimes people who just like move county to county, or state to state, because every state is different. Every county has their weird kinks with when it comes to voter registration, of how long you can live there, or like how long you lived in the county so you could vote in it. And I think that's just like, it's unfair. And maybe if young people were registered to vote, maybe more of them would vote, or maybe they'd be more interested in voting, because then it takes the added like pressure of like having to find out where you have to vote, or registering to vote to make sure you're ready. Because sometimes a lot of states, I also think same day registration should be a thing, because a lot of states are like, you have to be registered for a week or
Right.
so, some crazy rule, you have to do it a few days before so it can process. Illinois is one of the states though that you can register on the same day.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's kind of a pain to go
yeah.
voting. Like, I think with COVID, it was a little bit easier because you can do the send home ballots, but I don't know if that
Mm-hmm.
was always there or not. I mean, I voted 18, 18, 24, 20. Yeah. So I voted twice now.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I voted when I turned right 18, when I turned 18, and then like for the big elections, and then
Right, right. That's, yeah,
um
for bigger elections. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think I'm pretty sure they've had home at home ballots, but I don't know if it's been if it was used as much as it is now.
it wasn't, and it wasn't always as easily accessible as it is now. Because I remember when I was in New York, I did use like a mail-in ballot,
Yeah.
excuse me, for what do you call it, for one of the elections back home. Like I was some like local election or something, and I did use it, but it was also like, this is so much easier and it makes sense. And then there was a whole thing of so many people were sending in mail-in ballots. it's a lot, especially with the pandemic. Like the pandemic really threw things for a loop. But it's also, I know one of my professors in college, he worked in Russia for a really long time, and he was like a foreign correspondent, and he said one of the great things, which is ironic, one of the more great things that Russia had come out with was the fact that they took like an election day, like a national election day, and like everybody had that day off. No one was working. It was like made into a holiday, and people had the time to go vote, because I know that's like a thing. I know it's, if you were in line to vote though, and like the polls have officially closed, like you're still allowed to go vote though,
Right.
because you're in line for it. But he was like, they made it a day, and it's easy, and it's quick, and it's in and out. And then I know some places like have just like made things so much more efficient, like so many other countries in the world. And I think we really need to look at that,
Yeah. I
because
think it's going to. It's just everything, we're just behind.
we really are, for as a progress, like as innovative as we can be, and as much as we have, like, don't get me wrong, we have our problems as a nation, but for as much as we have done good, there's also like, you're so behind in so many things, like with what do you call it, I know it's just something that comes to mind whenever we talk about behind in like laws and stuff, is like the laws with like electronics, because it's like it takes time for the laws to catch up, and then even then, like, they still need to be adapted, because things are always changing with technology. But it's like, for this, I think we really really need to find a better solution for modern day voting. And I think online voting can possibly be a thing, or just like a more efficient poll, like, maybe clicking like something on like a screen, or just something more efficient than what's going on now, because it's fucked up now.
Yeah, I agree with that. So let's go to the next one here. So the next one is a little crazy. It says paying for an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So in the US, we have to pay for our ambulance ride versus, I mean, so I just looked up like the average ambulance ride or how much it
Mm-hmm.
would be. The average cost for one ambulance ride is almost $1,200, and that was in 2010. So I'm sure it's gone up now.
Oh, I believe it.
But
Especially with inflation in our nation. Are you kidding me?
yeah, I don't, that's insane. Like how,
Right?
I mean, yeah. So it's 400 to 1,200 total or more
Mm-hmm.
plus mileage. So
Jesus
they'll
fucking
charge you on
Christ.
top of the mileage, right?
And then the fucking hospital bill itself is insane. Like, that's a whole other episode. Like, the
Yeah,
hospital, like, they can charge you like $30,000 just for being like, I broke my elbow.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
fucking, I
mean,
remember
that's
what.
crazy though.
Yeah, I remember one time, so one of my friends on campus had a car, and she and I were supposed to hang out, and she was like, "Hey, sorry, I can't hang out. Something happened." And I was like, "Okay, no problem. Like, it is what it is." And then she told me that one of her friends had like a seizure in like the school Starbucks, and so instead of calling an ambulance because it costs so much, and keep in mind, at my school, at my university, there was a hospital literally right across the street, because it was the school's hospital. Like, they're a big medical school. And um and she literally went to pick, and people were like, "Oh, let me call you an ambulance, let me call you an ambulance." And he was like, "No, I can't afford an ambulance. He's like, I called my friend, she's gonna come pick me up and take me to the hospital." And I'm like, that's so dangerous, because he like fell to the ground, and it was tile floor, like, God forbid he did something to his back and then like ended up getting up and then paralyzing himself or something. Spine and head injuries are just crazy like that. So I'm just
Right.
like, the
He
fact
could
that he
have,
had to wait to be picked up instead of like being rushed to a hospital by a professional who could help him and probably make sure he's okay, God forbid anything else happened. It just like, it blows my mind constantly. And I think about that a lot. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this story, or
yeah,
this excuse me, this comment.
yeah. And I'm sure like in I don't know how it is in Europe. I'm trying to see right now. I guess it says fully funded systems like in the UK. There's no out-of-pocket costs, but high taxes. So I guess like the taxes will pay for the demands of the ambulance. Um,
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
it kind of depends where you are. I mean, overall, it's going to be expensive,
Mhm.
which is 80s, what 80s?
It is, but it's also like it's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, like not everybody has like I think we're very fortunate in our situation that we have like good insurance and our parents can help us out, but not everybody has 1200. I was going to say 12,000. 12,000 is a lot too, but 1,200 is also a lot. And that's rent for some people.
Yeah,
That's like a monthly, but like that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Some people cannot afford that. God forbid it's more urgent than like it's like a stroke or something, you know? It's just it's a lot of fucking money.
yeah. So let's talk about the next one. Using a
You
microwave instead of a kettle.
to make tea. I mean, I just my thing is like I know a lot of Americans use a microwave to heat up water, and I think it's
Oh.
weird. I think this is like one of the things like I was just like, who the fuck uses a microwave? Because we have a kettle at home, and like our mom, like she has like this Greek little thing called like a briki that she uses to heat up her like coffee and stuff. So to me, I'm like, why wouldn't you use a kettle? Like when I was in college, it's different, but even then, like I bought one of the automatic ones that switched on and off.
Oh my gosh, Pops made me buy one.
It was actually a real for me, it was a really good investment. I did make tea and
I
I would
don't
make
drink
tea.
tea or coffee, so when he made me buy one, I was like, I don't know, it was like $30. But
Yeah.
still, like I was like, I don't need it. He's like, no, you're gonna use it. I think I used it total of 2 times.
No, no, I used it like all the time.
People used it more at my apartment when they would stay over. Like
Yeah.
when family would stay over or friends,
Hmm.
they would use it more than I would actually use it. So I'm like, yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just think that it's weird. Like I don't know. I don't even make my fucking ramen noodles in the microwave. You're not supposed to, but I'm just saying, like I don't
Yeah.
even do that. Like just
Wait, are you not supposed to?
no, it says it on the cup. The
Really?
Kettle one. Yeah, it says do not microwave.
Even though
I
you,
think because it's styrofoam. I'm not sure.
yeah,
Maybe
probably.
it'll look, yeah, right. But I don't know. I think it's weird. I think that's like one of the weird things because I'm like, who actually uses a microwave to heat up? Sorry, my language,
Water
just
or
to heat
something.
up water or anything really. Like,
Yeah,
well,
I guess
I mean,
you don't
you
have a
generally, right?
stove, but
Yeah,
most people have a stove.
yeah. But even then, you could still use like the electric ones,
What do you
like the kettle.
what's the
What are
name?
you an appliance?
What are you, an appliance?
Okay, my name's Steve. If anyone's seen Bridesmaids. But I mean, even like heating up milk, like you're not like, you know, for hot chocolate, because I know Mexican hot chocolate is bomb and they use like I remember Christina made it for us and she heated up milk on a stove.
Yeah,
So I mean, I
just
don't know, you're like not gonna microwave milk. So
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know, it's
that's so
weird.
true. I mean, the only time I think I would, so the only time I would use it is like hot chocolate, maybe if I wanted it quick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even then, I would probably boil water because most people would want to also make hot chocolate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially in the
Yeah.
holidays now, Thanksgiving and Christmas, you kind of
Hmm.
want to start using those things more. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I actually just the other day our sister wanted hot chocolate. And I know she was like going home from our parents' house and she was talking to her husband and she was like, I want hot chocolate. So they stopped at the store to get some. And the next day I went to Walgreens because I was going over to their house
Mhm.
and I saw these like cute little, like, you know, like the hot chocolate bombs or whatever they're called. And it was like a snowman and a penguin. So I got her them. And I was like, did you get your hot chocolate? Like, I just wanted to make sure she had it. And
That's
I
funny.
wasn't getting her. Yeah. They're really cute though. I like them. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird to me. I would always use a stove
Yeah.
or something else. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
All right. What's the next one? What's the next one?
Okay, so it's the hypersexualization of nudity and nipples, and then it kind of goes hand in hand with how desensitized they are to violence on TV and movies. Because it's true, like, you know, if
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, only certain channels do nudity, and even then, like, it's very limited to what you can and can't show. And sometimes it's not even in like a sexual manner. And people
Mhm.
are like, oh my God, like look away. I remember one time, what movie? It was a James Bond one. I can't remember, but I remember one of our uncles, we were watching it with him, and he was like, "Oh, everybody look away," or whatever, because like some girl was showing her boob, and like I didn't understand it. Like I was young, so I didn't understand what he was saying, look away from though. And I was like,
Right.
I have boobs. This isn't weird. Like this is so stupid to me. He's like, you look away. I was like, I have boobs.
Like
This
I've,
does like
yeah.
what?
Like we all
Also,
don't know what a fucking nipple looks like. Free the nipple,
right.
baby. Free the nipple.
Yeah.
All about
Ready? No, I'm kidding.
the
But then like, you have set like things rated PG-13 are ridiculous. Like some of them are so like the Hunger Games. That was so incredibly violent. But you're
yeah,
gonna allow that.
PG-13.
Yeah. But you're gonna allow that. But like let's say someone's just changing their shirt, you're not gonna allow like somebody to see a boob because it's
Right.
like you can't sexualize like a boob, like, or you are sexualizing a boob.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
just like
I
it's
agree.
ridiculous.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. I know because I remember in high school we had to have like a permission slip signed because we were watching some movie, and it was just like showing, I can't remember, it was showing like poverty in like old like in like I can't remember the years, but like when the French were going through like their period of overthrowing their monarchy and everything. So I think that was like 1700s, early 1800s. I can't really remember the dates, but and it was like this mom bathing with her kids because they couldn't afford to like take baths separately.
Yeah.
And so like it was just showing her bathing with, it wasn't anything like insane or anything, but we had to get a permission slip signed because she was naked.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so ridiculous. Like she's literally not, it's not like it's not porn or something up there. Like that's a different
Right.
story.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It's nothing crazy. No, I get it. Yeah. And especially like, I think one of the comments was here and it says, I'm too European to understand how swearing and curse words are such a big deal in movies and songs, but violence and guns are taken with a grain of salt. So yeah, I don't know. That's just interesting.
Yeah. And also I feel like things just only are getting more violent, like what they show on TV. It like baffles me sometimes because I'm just like, I can't believe you showed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched The Walking Dead for a while and I was like, I can't believe this is being shown on TV. Like this should come with like a, they had like the
it usually
TV ratings.
does. It says like TV no, not 14. I don't know, whatever rating it has at the top.
Yeah, but it's not as, it feels like to me, violence isn't as heavily monitored as nudity.
Yeah.
Like Janet Jackson, she didn't need Justin Timberlake. My boyfriend's gonna be so mad at me when he listens to this. He loves Justin Timberlake, but Justin Timberlake whipped out Janice Jackson's nipple at the fucking Super Bowl, and the whole world blacklisted her for what?
Yeah.
It wasn't even her fault. It's a nipple. Jesus Christ, get over yourself. It wasn't like she was like, look into my butthole or something.
I know. And like in Europe, there's so many nude beaches. Like it doesn't matter. Like here we overly, I don't know. It's either Americans are prude or Europeans are just more comfortable with their bodies and acceptable of everybody else's. Like they don't care there.
Yeah, so we did talk about that. I remember in high school in like a history class, and it's like it has to do with apparently a lot of our Puritan background. Like our founding fathers were Puritans, and they were very much more like conservative and like had a very narrow-minded view. So in theory, it has a lot to do with that. I also think that we just have to go against everybody else always for whatever reason, because metric system is better, but that's a different story. But
so let's go on to the next one. This next one.
That's it. People not using all of their annual vacation days and having limited sick days.
So it's really interesting because currently at where I'm working, they're talking about PTO and how they have to use their some individuals have to use their PTO before the end of the year because it's going to get busier, and they're like almost forcing them to use it. They're like, hey, use it now instead of later when it's busier, because when it's later on and they need them and then everyone's like, oh, I want to take my PTO, it all clumps up into one, and then everybody has to take it off, but everybody can't take it off because they're so busy.
Right. I think it's ridiculous too, because it's like you get shamed for it, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, why are you, like, you can go on a vacation, people are like, why'd you go on a vacation?
Right.
What is it to you if I go on a vacation and you don't? I think people
Exactly.
are just jealous.
They are. And it's
I think
also
that's
like
what it comes down
sick
to.
days, like, especially coming out of a pandemic. It's like, no, we should use our sick days. Like, people should stay home when they're sick. I hate when people are coughing and sneezing and
Oh my
like
gosh.
clearing their fucking throat. And you work
I,
with old people, so you go off,
I
Alex.
do, but no, I have a really, oh man, it just pisses me off. So I'm sitting in one of my classes, and all of a sudden, this individual, I won't name if they're male, female, professor, whatever it is, this individual just takes off. So this individual wanted to sneeze. We're all wearing our masks. We're all 6 feet apart, each whatever table, whatever you want to call it. This person took off their mask, sneezed, and put it back on. And I like looked over at them and I was like, why are you doing this?
Why do
You
you
need
hate
to
me?
keep your mask on when
Yeah.
you sneeze. That's the whole point of coughing or sneezing with a mask on. If you
Thank
feel
you.
uncomfortable with it, then go into the bathroom and sneeze and cough and then come back. But I was like, why? And the thing is, it was in my direction. That's why I got even more pissed. I was like, are you
Slapped.
freaking kidding me right now in the middle of a freaking pandemic when we're all,
Panoramic, okay?
yeah, I know. Oh my God.
I would have fucking popped someone in the face. One of my friends did that too. And I looked at them and I was like,
It
why
just,
did you take, we were in the middle of a Target. I was like, why did you take off your mask? And they were like, because I had to sneeze and I didn't want to sneeze into my mask. I'm like, that's the entire point of the fucking mask though, is
the
to, and
whole
they
entire,
were like, but the germs. I was like, it's your germs. Why does it matter?
it's your fault.
I mean, like if you threw up, that's a different story. But like, if you're just sneezing, and I know sometimes like when you sneeze, like like mucus comes out, but I'm like, if it's just a
If
regular
that's
sneeze,
the
it doesn't
case, pull it
matter.
down, sneeze into your arm.
I
But
know that's
why
the they
why
just
go like this? Achoo! Oh, and then
right,
put it back on. I'm like, yo, what the frick are you doing?
right. I always try to sneeze into my shirt. Like I always try to go
Yeah.
like because I'm like if mucus is there, it's whatever, it's to my body, but I'm just like it's also gross as hell to sneeze all over somebody. And
And
also, yeah, people should take their fucking vacation days.
yeah, yes, take your vacation days.
Yeah,
Don't
use
slack
it.
off vacation days.
Yeah. I know one of our cousins' girlfriends, she's like, I'm gonna use all my vacation days. And she like took a little vacation for herself. I think she went to Florida or California. And I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah,
Use your vacation days. There's no reason not to. And I hate when people are shamed for doing so. We all need a break. We are all overworked and stressed. They really run you ragged in the capitalism system because they think you're a machine. They really don't give a shit about you. So fuck them and take your vacation days.
yeah.
I'm
I
just
was gonna say, um, man, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot.
Was it something about people being sick?
No, it was something about, never mind. We'll figure it out. On to the next thing. All right. So we
Uh,
have here, go ahead, Reed.
Joining the army for college money and free healthcare, and then having massive student debt. So
Oh,
those are like two separate ones, but I think they go together because a lot of people who come from a more poor community or cannot afford college on their own because they're not getting any financial aid from somebody who supports them,
right.
they do consider heavily going into the army or somewhere, where they can get that type of help. And
Yeah.
if they need the healthcare, it's an added bonus because healthcare is fucking expensive and we don't have a good system in place to make healthcare affordable for people, regardless of whether it's free or not. We don't
Yep.
have a good enough system in place.
It's working in healthcare right now. It's kind of sad to see like how I almost, so the people that I talk, some of the patients that I talk to, they're like turning 64 to 65 or just turned 65, 66, 67, and they're trying to figure out what the best possible healthcare system or insurance that they can get from Medicare, and how there's like A, B, C, D all the way to G, K, whatever you name it. There's a different types of them. And then on top of the insurance that you can have a secondary insurance if you want to pay for that. But on top of that, you have to get another supplemental one that's going to pay for your medication. And it's like if you don't get the medication through your supplemental insurance, they can upcharge you the next time you want to take that type of medication. So like,
Mhm.
let's say, I don't know, for example, they have medication A. Insurance is saying, hey, you only pay $10 for medication A, and you're supposed to take that medication every month.
Mhm.
After 6 months or so, and you refuse to get medication A, but you got the generic brand medication B for that 6 months, you can get penalized the next time, that seventh month, if you want to go back and take that medication A. So instead of $10, it'll be like 70. And it's ridiculous. I just talked to a patient about this and it was like insane. I was like,
It,
that is so messed up.
it really is. Like I remember, so I am on anxiety medication, I am on birth control, and then I also took vitamin D pills because I do have a vitamin D deficiency.
Mhm.
It's not like super severe or anything. It's just like every once in a while I'll go to the doctor and they'll be like, all right, you need to boost your levels a little bit. But I didn't have to pay for my anxiety medication, which I know some people have to pay decent money for. I don't know how much they go for, but I know that they can be pretty pricey. I know some people do have to pay for birth control, and that's like a whole separate issue. And then I didn't have to pay for that though, but my only one that I had to pay for was like $2.75 was my vitamin D prescription. And even then I was like, oh, it's $2.75. What's that to me? But you know, if my insurance covers so much that I have to pay for $2, I can only imagine how much if I didn't have good insurance
Yeah.
or any insurance at all.
Yeah.
It's just it blows my mind.
Yeah. And you're paying already pretty premium already to have good insurance.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
It's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
student debt, man, oh man, any healthcare
Anxiety.
worker, anybody who like goes to college is just coming out of debt, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
piling up and piling up, piling up.
Yeah.
And the student loan forgiveness program is not very flexible to those individuals who are trying to,
Or forgiving,
or yeah,
shockingly.
they're not forgiving. No shit. But yeah,
You're gonna burn.
the crazy thing is, I have talked to some individuals and they found a way where they pay 5 grand for a grant writer,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll have a grant writer just find money somehow and pay for their school. But I mean, if they're paying for your, let's say $100,000 for school and you only pay 5,000 that year, that is well worth it.
I think so too. That's insane. But it's also like just going back to the army thing, like they really do target poor people because they're like, well, these people aren't the type of people who will be able to pull out a loan or who will have someone help them pull out a loan. So like, let's target them. Or even they are people who pulled out a loan, now they're in trouble. And it's like, okay, well, let's target them so we can get people for the army and then also fuck over all these people. It's ridiculous. And um it just like it makes me sick to my stomach to think about student loans. And it's just like in this comment here, like having massive student debt, under it, it says, this user says, I pay 20 euros per semester for tuition in Austria. And I'm just like, I can't imagine, like, I mean, community college is affordable, but unfortunately they don't offer the degrees that like a 4-year university would, at
Right.
least to my knowledge, from what I know, but I'm 99% sure that's
You
accurate.
you can
Oh, you can?
get a, so
Like a
it
bachelor's.
you can get a bachelor's through your community college, but I think you have to have like a circumstance, like you have
Yeah.
to say like, oh, I can only stay at home. But it's only as of recently that they're doing that.
Yeah. And I
So
mean, I
it's
know
like you
you and I also
take
went.
equivalent classes at your community college that
Mm-hmm.
are equivalent at the undergraduate university level, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll pass that over and say, okay, you take the classes here, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
count for your undergraduate degree. Now, I only
Right.
know that because it's as of recent that I know
Yeah.
somebody that went through it.
Yeah. That's not always been a thing. And it's just, it's really ridiculous because I feel like you could almost have more business and more people thriving. I just feel like everything would just be like boosted if everybody was able to like have some sort of affordable college. I'm not saying you have to make a non-existent payment, but I
Right.
think that the way that it has gone is absolutely unacceptable. I saw numbers, I'm not sure where they're from, but it was saying that college has increased. I think it was like 193% by price, and then the living wages have only gone up like 17%.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to a healthcare individual at my hospital one time, and they told me that they're from Poland. And they're like,
Hmm.
yeah, everything from Poland was paid for my university college. I just had to get
Yeah.
accepted. So you had to take
Hmm.
a test, pass, get accepted. He goes,
That
everything
makes
was paid
sense.
for. So he was
Yeah.
telling me, he's like, go to Poland and just get your degree and then come back, take the boards and
Yeah.
you're done, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I
No, it's
don't know
not.
how well I would survive in Poland because I don't speak a lick of Polish.
Well,
So
lucky for us, other education systems actually are better than ours, and other people actually know English.
yeah,
So
yeah,
thank God other
it
people know
was
like 5 languages so we can benefit from it.
yeah. You would probably speak English in the graduate level courses. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
but you know what we say about
Yeah.
assuming and asking.
Right. I think it's also just the fact of like European, like it makes sense that you have to, of course, you have to be accepted. Like even community college, you have to be accepted. You just have to like live in the county or whatever. But
Right.
I think it makes sense that you take a test and you have to be accepted. And it's like, okay, well, we can pay for you now. It's only fair. But it's also like when you're shoving college as the only way for you to make money and be good, because let's be real, like as much as people want to be entrepreneurs without going to college, it's not very easy.
Right.
um like, you know, everyone's like, well, you could do the X, Y, and Z, and it's like, yeah, there is trade school too, which I think is actually a very beneficial thing, and more people should look into it before signing up for a university or something. But it's also like when that's the only thing advertised, that this is how you're going to be able to pay your bills in the future and this is how you're going to be able to survive, it's a lot of pressure to feel like you have to go there
Yeah.
and you have to do something regardless of whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And then also fucking paying like $300 for a book I only opened once is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just
Most of
thought
the
I should
time
mention that
we
because
just
it fucking pissed me off. I would always wait until like 3 weeks in. I'm like, if we've used this book, I'll do it. If not, I'm not buying it. And half the time I didn't have to buy a book because some people really, really like to watch the world burn, and those people own colleges.
is on her stool right now. She's on her pedestal.
I fucking hate, I get so heated, especially like when I paid a pretty penny to fucking live on campus too, and the living conditions were shit. And it was
Yeah.
just like, it was a lot of fucking
Usually.
problems. And, you know, I'm not saying they have to be like a fucking hotel, but when I know how much money goes into it and I know what the, like, who's getting this money then? I'm not getting my money back.
Yeah. Like, where's
Like
the
it,
breakdown?
yeah, because it's like, you're not fucking giving it to me. I'm fucking being crammed in a room. Like kids were dealing with mold and flooding and stuff. I was lucky I didn't have that, but I did have like a ceiling leak, and they told me they just fucking mopped the roof and that was that. And I was like, that's not a reasonable fucking solution. We can get into that in another
You'll be
episode.
okay. Put some Flex Seal on the ceiling.
They didn't even fucking do that though. That was a whole, Jesus fucking Christ, that was a whole mess. But anyway,
That's funny.
what else do you have to say before I
No, I don't have
really fucking get sued because I'm gonna fucking say some slander? Not even slander, it's truth, but they'll fucking be like, that's slanders. Should we move on to our last point?
Yeah. What's our last point?
And finally, not having bidets. We need like a button on this night that just does it.
Yeah, not having bidets. I don't think I've ever used a bidet before.
I remember I was really confused because I saw one. I can't remember where we were. I think we were in Greece or we were in Mexico. And I was like, what is that? And mom was like, that's
Definitely.
a bidet. And I was like, what is a bidet? Like, I was so confused. But I've never used one. But sometimes I think about it and I'm just like, it makes sense. Because like, I'm going to be really real, when you take a nasty shit, wiping is not enough sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
Wiping is not enough.
Naked and just shower.
You do, because sometimes, look, you've had beer shits. You can't tell me.
Oh yeah, beer shits are terrible.
You can't tell me, or like, you know, like when you're like really sick,
yes,
you just, it's a mess. Like I feel like you have to be more clean. Like I felt like it just has to be, there has to be a better solution than just using fucking paper to wipe your asshole. Like it's just not a viable, like I'm not saying fucking throw out toilet paper, but it's just like, I
Well,
think a
like,
bidet
what
is a
about the
great
people
solution.
like during the pandemic when there's no toilet paper? People with bidets are just like, yeah, we don't have to pay for that.
Right, exactly. But
Like,
it's
I'm
also
sure they were happy.
yeah, I bet you they were. And it's like I don't think that wipes are always the best solution because I remember one time we got in trouble for using like baby wipes or whatever and flushing them down the toilet and then like we had to get a guy to come clean like the septic or whatever. Don't you remember? It was like a long time ago, like when we first moved into this house. Yeah. I
I
remember because
don't
Poppy was like, Mom bought baby wipes, and he's like, what are you using them for? She was like, why do you care? And he was like, I don't want to have to call a guy again to clear out the baby wipes. And I was like, okay.
what the fuck? I've
Yeah, it's
never heard of this
insane.
story before.
Yeah. And he had to call a guy so we could clear it out. And then yeah. So baby wipes are also just bad for the environment. Like, and so is using a lot of toilet paper. It's also like I don't want to constantly be using wads of toilet paper, not feeling clean. I don't care what the Charmin fucking commercial says. Toilet paper doesn't make me feel clean.
But it's soft on the ojete, huh?
It is. It's fucking. We don't buy Charmin. We buy like the fucking on sale one at Costco or Sam's Club. You think Mom and Poppy are shelling out the money to buy me fucking Charmin? Are you kidding me?
Probably for themselves, but not for you.
Oh my gosh, even Poppy got picky. He was like, I don't like that one because it's not soft enough. And I was like, all right.
Right.
It's
That's
like,
so
yes.
fun. But
But
like,
no.
I guess what do European people think? Like they just come here and they're like, now I have to wipe my butt with this towel thing that
Mm-hmm.
breaks down in my hand as I wipe it. And then I
Oh,
have
the
to
worst
wash
is
my
when it
hands.
breaks.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ew. I mean, probably they're probably like, where is the bidet? Because there is like a level of like, no matter how much you wipe, you don't. I don't know. I don't feel 100% clean, so that's why like every day I take a shower and I feel like much better. And
Yeah.
like I just don't feel as clean, especially if I'm having a rough digestive day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't think I've ever used a bidet. I feel like I
No,
would know if I used one.
you would definitely know, but I feel like if you did, I feel like it would be a game changer.
I mean, I kind of want to try it. I just want to see
One of
what's
my friends
about.
installed a bidet into her toilet. Like
Yeah.
it's a part of her toilet, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
It's not that hard to do.
we should do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
but
do
it
it
has to
this winter
be heated
break.
water. I don't want cold water spraying on my butt.
Alex, you're being too picky now. You're being like way too picky.
I
It's
mean,
just,
Pop said he went to South Korea and like they had like the most
you know,
technology advanced bathroom, and he literally said there's like an iPad that he could just touch whatever buttons, warm, cold, hot air, cold air, heat the
mm-hmm.
seat, don't heat the seat, heat the floor, don't heat the floor, start the shower, start the music. It was like super advanced.
That's really awesome.
That's where we should.
But it's also like, first of all, Asian countries, a lot of them have like Japan, I know China, Korea, they tend to have like a lot more technologically advanced things, and
Mm,
I think that's awesome. Or they make more use of it, I should say. I'm not sure, like I feel like they use it a lot more than like we do, or
right.
I don't know, other countries, especially like countries that have just like an older, like, like I feel like a lot of Europe is a little outdated.
Yeah.
They just kind of like, it's hard for them to do things. But anyway, point being, you can find one that's heated if you really fucking
I
want
mean,
to.
if you're in Greece and you're in the Joryo, you're using freaking leaves, man. You're not using any toilet
You're
paper, water, air
you're
dry,
going
air
right.
dry with
You're
leaves.
just shaking your cheeks waiting for it to dry.
Fucking shaking your cheeks in the wind. Oh my god, Jay. Jay's ass is out in the wind.
I'm a dump truck.
I'm a dumb truck. Scumpy? What's Scumpy? That's
Stumpy for Trumpy.
Scumpy for truck. Oh my god, just look at me wiggle my toes.
Oh my god, Terry, your dogs are like barking.
Oh my god.
Preview for next week's episode about Big Mouth.
Yeah, for real. Oh yeah, next week for sure is about Big Mouth. You guys really like this one. We just have a whole list of things to talk about.
Just can't
Oh man, I'm gonna have to rewatch some of the episodes just to get one-liners.
Oh my god, it's too funny.
Andrew Glamberman. Freaking Andrew. Oh.
Rage, fucking rage.
Oh my god, my cheeks are killing me. Oh,
I'm clapping too much? No.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like other impressions I can do. I have a good list of them I can try.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm not good at impressions.
Lola.
Anyway, Lola Scumpy would definitely have a bidet and brag about it. And fucking, what do you call it? Live stream her using it. I'm convinced. And then, what is it? Devin would get mad and make her take it down.
Yeah.
And then do her own live stream of using Lola's bidet.
100%.
Hashtag save the environment. Am I a writer for Big Mouth now? I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on to our episodes of Sibs of Tea. I hope you enjoyed our European tour, European exchange, as we like to call it, of our episode. If you guys have any questions or comments, obviously you know where to reach us. Irene, any closing remarks?
Thanks for listening. Again, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. We'd really, really appreciate it. We do have an Instagram, I'm pretty sure a Facebook page, and a website. Just look up Sibs of Tea and you should be able to find it. Please follow, please like, comment, send us your stories if you have any good ones. And if you're a non-American listener, we would love to hear some of your takes on America. I know that a lot of people also from the European side like to say we supersize things, and sometimes bigger is better and sometimes it's not. So take care of yourself, guys. Drink water, get your rest, be a better you. See you next week.
All right, guys. See you next week. Thank you very much.
Bye.